All right, so OpenAI just dropped a massive upgrade, something they're calling a huge step towards general AI. It's called GPT-5. Today, we're going to break down what makes this thing such a game changer. Think about it this way. We're moving from AI as just a helpful tool to having a real expert right in your pocket.
And that's really the core of it all, right? You heard it from OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman himself. He's not pulling any punches here. He's basically saying GPT-5 isn't just another small improvement. No, this is a total shift in how we're going to interact with AI. So, you got to ask, what does a leap in intelligence like that actually look like?
You know, Sam Altman gave the perfect analogy for this. He said, if you think of GPT-3, it was kind of like a high school student. You know, some moments of pure brilliance, but also kind of annoying sometimes. Then GPT-4 came along, more like a college student. But GPT-5? Whoa, we're talking a completely different league. We're talking about having a PhD-level expert on call for any subject whenever you need it.
Okay, so talk is cheap, right? The demos, that's where this new intelligence really starts to blow your mind. OpenAI showed off how this software-on-demand thing can chew through super complex problems in just a matter of minutes.
I mean, just look at the speed and complexity here. A user kicks things off with a simple ask, hey, can you give me a quick refresher on the Bernoulli effect? But then they take it up a notch. They ask for an interactive, moving demo. And get this, in just 2 minutes, GPT-5 pumps out almost 400 lines of code. What you get is a fully working physics simulation built from scratch. You can even go in and tweak things like the airspeed and the angle of attack. I mean, this is serious software being built just by talking to it.
And it's not just about technical stuff. The creative power is, well, it's just as impressive. So the prompt was to build a French learning app, but not just any app. They wanted progress tracking and a fun little game, kind of like the old snake game, but with a mouse chasing cheese. And the result? GPT-5 spits out multiple, unique, fully working web apps in minutes. Each one has the flashcards, the quizzes, and yep, that little mouse and cheese game.
So, okay, it can code. But what about writing? Well, its creative writing has taken this massive leap forward. So they asked it to write a eulogy, a goodbye to the older models. GPT-4o gave it a shot, and it was fine. A decent start, but it felt really generic, almost like it came from a template. But GPT-5's version? People said it had rhythm and beat. It felt personal, genuine, and emotionally resonant. It just gets the nuance. This makes it feel less like you're using an AI and more like you're working with a real creative partner.
So the demos are really cool, right? But what about the hard numbers? Well, the data totally backs it up. Take SweBench, for example. This is a benchmark that tests AI on actual, real-world software engineering problems. And guess what? GPT-5 just set a brand new high score. So this isn't just us feeling like it's better at coding. The objective numbers are there to prove it.
And it's not just about code. It's also incredible at something called multimodal reasoning. Basically, its ability to understand and reason about images, text, all that stuff together. On this big benchmark called MMU, it doesn't just crush the other models. It actually outperforms most human experts. Now that is a huge, huge milestone for AI.
And just to top it all off, it did exceptionally well on the Amy, which is this ridiculously hard math competition. So, let's recap. Whether you're talking about coding, visual reasoning, or super advanced math, that PhD expert label, it's not just some clever marketing slogan. No way. It's totally backed up by its performance right across the board.
Okay, but here's the part that really matters to you and me. All of this incredible power, it's not being locked away for just researchers or giant corporations. Nope. OpenAI is making GPT-5 available to everyone. And the way they're rolling it out is something we've never seen before.
So, for the first time ever, the best, most advanced model is going to be available to free users. Now, they'll get access to GPT-5 with some usage limits, and after that they'll switch over to a smaller but still very powerful version. If you're a Plus or Pro user, you get way higher limits. And for team and enterprise folks, it's unlimited GPT-5 right out of the box as their default model.
And the sheer scale of this is it's staggering. I want you to think about this for a second. Around 700 million people use ChatGPT every single week. That's how many people are about to get their hands on this PhD-level intelligence. It's a massive, massive leap in what's possible for a gigantic global audience.
So this is obviously huge for users, but it's also a massive deal for developers. OpenAI has rolled out a whole bunch of new tools and a totally new way of thinking about safety. It's all designed to make it way more powerful and reliable to build on top of this new model.
So, for all the builders out there, the API now has a whole family of models: GPT-5, a smaller GPT-5 mini, and a tiny GPT-5 nano. There's also this really cool new parameter where you can literally dial in the reasoning effort you need. The custom tools are way more flexible, you get more control over the outputs. Oh, and the context window, it's been boosted to a massive 400,000 tokens. That means it can reason over just huge amounts of information at once.
Now let's talk about safety, because there's a really big philosophical shift here. You know how older models kind of had this all-or-nothing choice? They would either do exactly what you said, or they'd just give you a hard no. Well, GPT-5 brings in a much more nuanced system. They're calling it safe completion. And the goal is to be as helpful as possible, but always within the safety guidelines. So instead of just hitting you with that, sorry, I can't help with that, the model actually tries to find a safe way to still be useful. Maybe it answers your question from a high level, or it suggests a safer way to get to what you're trying to do. It's just a smarter, much more robust way to handle safety.
Okay, so what does all this power actually mean in the real world? Well, it's already being put to work as a subject matter expert in some of the biggest industries on the planet, and it's completely changing how they operate.
Check this out. In life sciences, a company called Amgen is using it to do deep reasoning on scientific papers and clinical data. In finance, the bank BVBA used it to cut down a complex financial analysis job from 3 weeks to just a few hours. Oscar Health is calling it the absolute best model out there for complex clinical reasoning. And get this, it's even being rolled out to 2 million U.S. federal employees.
But you know, the impact goes way beyond the boardroom. There was this powerful story from Millon, a cancer survivor. She talked about how AI helped her understand these super complex biopsy reports and make informed decisions even when her own doctors couldn't agree. Her story it perfectly shows the ultimate promise here. It's about empowering people, you and me, to really participate and advocate for ourselves in our own lives and our own healthcare.
And really, that just gets to the heart of everything we've been talking about. This big shift. It isn't just about getting better answers or writing code faster. It's about moving from AI being a simple tool to AI becoming a true collaborator, a partner.
So, the final takeaway here isn't really a statement, it's a question for you. For the very first time in human history, pretty much anyone has access to what's essentially a team of PhD-level experts right in their pocket, ready to help with literally any goal you can dream up. So the only question that's left is, what are you going to build with it?